Hello, friends. Hello, hello. Hi. This is Marina Shepelsky. This is my weekly show, immigration news and answering your questions, Q&A. And here we discuss all the news, all the stuff that's related to U.S. immigration. And as you all know, right now, immigration is the number one issue for the US presidency election we're all expecting in November 2024. So, this is the hottest topic in the news, in the social, discussions between people. You'd hear people talking in a bus or a train sitting next to each other about immigration, people eating dinner, discussing immigration from every background. In the United States, Americans who've been here for generations, new immigrants, people who were born here with immigrant parents, anybody and everybody. If you're having trouble hearing me, I'm gonna actually try to remove this microphone. How is the sound now? Let me know, guys. Please drop me a note how my sound is today, because I finally moved to my office downstairs and out of the dining room in my house. Oh my God, it's February 28th. Is that what it made a mistake? My team made a mistake with the date, but today is February 28th, 2024. I'm recording this live on February 28th, and tomorrow is going to be February 29. We are in a leap year. Anyway, let's talk about news. Let's talk about what you are thinking about today. Please write for me where you are watching me from. If you're in Texas, if you're in Bangladesh, if you're in Nigeria, if you're in New York or New Jersey or California, I want to know what town, what city, and what state you're in or what country you're in. I really care. And I love to give shout outs to my friends who watch me from across the world. Before I get into the news, I'm going to just talk to you a little bit because I want more people to join and be able to watch this. And also, I want to give you the opportunity to come up with your questions and also drop them in the comments. And I will be happy to answer your questions live. Now, it's important to also say that nothing I say here is intended to be a consultation, legal advice, or creates attorney-client relationship between us. Everything we say is for entertainment and education value only. And if you'd like, if you'd like a customized strategy, if you'd like to talk about your case in detail to a lawyer, give our team a call. My number is on the bottom of the screen. If you're watching me on Instagram, you can find our number in my profile. Or if you don't want to call anybody, just click the link and schedule your own consultation by following the link there. All right, Virginia Beach for News View. Virginia Beach is watching me. Welcome to my show. Okay, I'm gonna log into my comments on Instagram as well. This way I'll be reading them on my screen and on my phone. Very good, thank you so much. Keelan Favor is already posting. I will answer at the end of the news, which is not going to take that long. Although there are news already out there, and let's discuss the news, okay? The number one news is that all premium processing fees have gone up. So premium processing fees have gone up. They've increased, and make sure that if you're filing a premium processing case like a student visa, change of status, or work visa, or green card, that you file with a new fee, the increased fee. The fees have gone up, and all the other fees also will increase as of April 1, but we still have some time before that happens. So if you want to file your case, now is the best time to file it. We've had a lot of clients coming in the last week wanting to file using the old rates, the old immigration fees. What else is in the news? Interesting development technically. U.S. Department of Homeland Security, ICE, is developing a system where lawyers can e-file and upload their attorney appearance forms, which is especially important for people who are in detention. So if I have a client in detention, it would be easy to just upload my G28, my notice of appearance, and the ICE officer can match the alien number of the detained person to the lawyer and be able to speak to us when we call the detention facility, because right now there's no such thing, and they just ignore our calls and they don't talk to us. It's really rough. It's hard. Um, what else is in the news? The borders are in the news. The open border. There's a tremendous political pressure on President Biden to shut down the borders, and the White House is saying they soon will. They want to make harder, they want to make like a harder standard for the credible fear interviews. They want to make them harder. They want to shut down the borders. They want to bring up some other like laws that they haven't used yet, not Title 42, which was related to the public health and COVID, but something else, some other laws they're going to use to shut down the borders. Um, People are worried. It's in the news on The Hill, which is a big publication, a political publication. Regular American people are worried about terrorists coming through the borders with the open borders, and they're worried that, for example, there's like thousands and thousands of Chinese people coming in right now, and nobody's really vetting them. So regular American people are worried that terrorists, communists, using bandits are coming to the border and nobody's stopping them. People who are robbing and stealing things in their home country, coming through the borders, coming to America, and now they're criminals in America. So this is the number one most important problem on the list of what everybody in America is worried and thinking about what going to vote for the president, which is making Trump's choices and chances much better, to be honest with you. So we will see what happens. Um, what else? Oh, this is the news for Ukrainian people, which not too many people here are watching the English speaking show. But if you are, there's a new rule for re-parole for Ukrainians. So anybody who came through the border from Ukraine before Uniting for Ukraine came out, or with Uniting for Ukraine, you'll be able to extend your status using the form I-131 and re-parole, extend your parole status. The Ukrainians, I also highly recommend getting TPS if you came here before August of 2023. The visa bulletin came out last week for March 2024 already. Let's see what we're seeing. Not much movement, to be honest with you. Not a lot of movement on the visa bulletin. All right. I think I'm going to start answering your questions because I talked about the main things in the news and you guys have a lot of questions. So I'm going to start today with an Instagram question from Julia Aris. She says, I applied for family reunification for my Uniting for Ukraine holder mother. Should I apply for the re-parole or should I wait for the I-130 to be approved? Julia, it's up to you. You might want to do the re-parole, like if she gets any medical benefits based on that, but you don't have to. You file for adjustment of status. She's your mother. She's in status. I think there's no need to do it and do it for the next war, to be honest. All right. A question here on YouTube. Um, oh. Francis is watching from Dallas. Hello, hello. News View says if you get approved for a T visa, T trafficking visa, and you have a social security number from the time you had your H-2B visa, will you get a new number social security when you do biometrics? Absolutely not. If you did everything right and you filled out the forms and you put in your old social security number, that number does not change ever for any other immigration status. Almost never. So you will keep your old number. Everyone says hi, Marina. Good morning and have a great day. Hello to you. Umama Nikanta Kothapali says, hi, ma'am. I got my work permit last year in September. Uh, it's in my VAWA case. When will I get my green card? How long will it take? I got my file number and the case was received February 2nd, 2023, abused for my spouse. So this person filed for VAWA in a marriage to an abusive US citizen or green card holder. It's called VAWA. February last year. VAWA is taking about 3 years. The work permit, depending where you live, is taking between like 7 months to 13, 14 months. Okay, so the work permit will come before VAWA decision. Okay, and the green card, your question is how long will it take for the green card? If you filed in February 2023, I would count like 3.5 to 4 years from there. So I'm thinking early 2027, okay, is when you will get your green card. Next question from Karun, sorry. My question is that I'm from Pakistan. My wife lives in the USA. She submitted an I-130 family petition for me, and my priority date, the filing date, is June 2023. My case is being reviewed by USCIS. I've been waiting for approval 9 months. It's in California. How long will the case take? I assume is your question. I would say another 6 months or so, approximately. Joseph says, good morning, my lovely lawyer. I know he's watching from Maryland. Of course, I see the comment. I'm watching you from Maryland. Newsview says, thank you. Thank you. Shout out to Joseph in Maryland. Thank you for watching. Let's see on Instagram questions. Keelan Favor, post your question again. I didn't see. Oh, I do see your question. Keelan Favor wants to know, Keelan Love Favor, the advance parole is only for use for an emergency or can it use otherwise? If you got an advance parole, it's probably not just for emergencies. Advance parole, when we file, for example, with a pending family case or pending VAWA or TPS, is to be used freely for travel. Okay. The emergency advance parole is usually only good for like 45 days. So you will know if you have a 2 year advance parole or 1 year advance parole, you can use it for multiple trips. So don't worry about that. All right. Um, Joseph wants to know if I'm coming to Maryland. He'd like to meet and discuss his question one on one. Joseph, you have to either make a Zoom consultation with us or come to our office. I can't meet clients at their home states. Otherwise, I'll be traveling for the year round and won't have time to do all my cases that I do every day. Oklahoma says hello. Joyce is watching from Oklahoma. Hello, hello. Welcome to my show. If you've got guys, if you have any questions that need like a real discussion, if you're thinking about your asylum case or VAWA or work green card or through work, through education, give us a call and schedule for a consultation with one of our experts. All right. Keelan says they have advanced parole for 5 years. So you can travel for multiple trips with your 5 year advance parole. And thank you. Americanka is asking, I'm waiting for my I-35 through marriage for the interview for 27 months in Chicago. What can be done to make it scheduled? 27 months is a long time. One thing you can do is write them a threatening letter to say you're going to sue them, take them to writ of mandamus to federal court. You also could make the e-inquiry, and you could get your congressman or senator involved because it is a long time. But let me tell you, I'm going to be looking up the processing times, and I can tell you how long it takes usually in Chicago. All right, so I-35, family based in the field office in Chicago. By the way, if you are from Chicago, there's a really good show called Bear or The Bear about Chicago and a restaurant there. So Chicago on the average is taking about 18 months. So that's only a year and a half, a year and 7 months. You've been waiting for 27. That's way too long. I would definitely start, trying to go see them and maybe make an e-inquiry on the USCIS website, get the senator or congressman involved. It is too long, I'll have to say. Atik Rahman W says, I'm from Afghanistan. I just came to America. I need your advice. Please give me a reply. Unfortunately, we don't work so much with people from Afghanistan. We don't have clients from Afghanistan. So I recommend some of my colleagues who are specialists in Afghanistan. Um, okay, Giancarlo too. Hi, I was denied on my first adjustment through marriage. Then I was placed in removal proceedings. Then I filed for VAWA. Now I got my advance parole. Can I travel or do I have to close the removal process first? I personally, with my clients, do not let them travel if they have open removal proceedings. You don't know who you're going to get in the airport coming back who might say, rightfully so, that you self-deported when you use your advance parole. I would not use it until you terminate your or dismiss your removal proceedings. That is my strategy. Some of my colleagues, I've heard them say it's okay to travel. It's only okay if you're okay with your client not coming back. I'm not okay with my client not coming back. So I'm going to tell you if you have open removal proceedings, do not leave the United States. This is good advice. Anthony Stannett also, who likes to watch me weekly. Thank you so much. By the way, Anthony Stannett has a question. He says, "Good morning, Marina. Got my work permit last December. I'm yet to receive my advance parole and green card. How long will it take? I'm an R1 specialist." Well, he's a religious green card applicant. Um, wow. So it's taking you a long time to get the advance parole and green card. Green card, I think is the sort of normal now. Get it through R1 process. You probably filed the I-360. So I'm gonna see I-360. It also depends where you live because even if I-360 is approved, let's see how long the I-360 takes. If it's based on religious worker. And let's say you were in Boston, right? I-360 takes, oh boy, knock me out. Their site is so bad. So bad. I-360 takes 7 months, but the I-485 takes longer, depends where you live. So I don't think it's that unusual that you've been waiting so long for the green card. The advance parole is taking a little longer, but it's only extra like 2 months so far. So let's give it some time. Talo Maxim Haba asks on Instagram, after applying for the work permit, how long does it take to receive it in my mailbox? Depends where you live and depends where you are the center is between 6 months. Giancarlo says, "Can you please help me terminate my removal proceeding?" Giancarlo, make an appointment for one of myself or one of our lawyers. We all do this, so you can make an appointment with anyone, and then we can discuss this. Maybe we can help you terminate your proceedings. Rahwa Khan says, "How's the visit visa ratio for American from Bangladesh?" It's hard to say. I don't have those statistics. And Rahwa says tomorrow is his parents' interview in Bangladesh. Um, it depends. I don't have the statistics. Sorry. Your parents have to show that they are not going to stay here. They're planning to return to Bangladesh. They have connections and ties to the home country, and they have a return ticket, and they plan to come back. Anthony adds that his I-360 was approved last year. Okay, so I mean, you should get everything soon, Anthony. I know it's frustrating to wait, but it's coming. Atik Rahman says, "I submitted my asylum case here. My case is accepted in 6 months. I was in the Afghan army. I came to America from Brazil after some problems. I have a social work license and need your cooperation." Okay, make your appointment. Let's do a consult. We can talk. All right, YouTube questions. Finally, I'm seeing some. Taburna Kukak says, "Hi, Marina. I have a pending asylum for 11 years. I just got my 5-year work permit renewed. My question is, do I have any relief? I have a regular job. I pay taxes, clean record. I came here in 2010 with an H-2B visa. Thanks. It's hard for me to say what your chances for relief are. I didn't read your case. I didn't have a consultation with you. I don't know if you filed in time within 1 year of entry. Let's make an appointment. I cannot give you legal advice here. But if you want to realistically, not just waste time, but if you want to assess your case, make an appointment. Let's do a consultation. Either call us or click the link in my profile to schedule a consult. Is it possible, wants to know Joseph, for someone who's got a pending asylum case to ask for advance parole or not? It is possible. You have to show an extreme emergency as the reason for advance parole. And if you are in removal proceedings, and one of our other friends was asking before, I would not apply nor use the advance parole with an open deportation case. Thunderbolt says, "Good morning, Marina. I filed for VAWA, abuse case. I got my advance parole. It's good for 2 years. I traveled back home twice. Now my advance parole is expiring soon. Should I get a new one? And is it okay if I go back home for the third time?" You should apply for a new one, and you should travel and return before expiration. And until you get the new one, once this one expires, you cannot travel. But it's okay to go home if you have a valid, unexpired advance parole. Harun says, "After the I-130 spouse petition approval, how much longer will we have to wait for an interview to be scheduled and to come here to live together?" It might take another 6 months, Harun, approximately. It could be 8 months, but something like 6 months. Joyce wants to know, "Ma'am, by next year, February, my auntie would have lived here in the US for 10 years. She has a US citizen child. When can she start for cancellation of removal?" You could start now because we usually start by filing for asylum. However, we have to be careful when we decide to file for cancellation of removal. It depends on the US citizen child's age, if they're going to be a qualifying relative. It depends if they have medical issues or other issues that make them have an extreme hardship. If they do have an extreme hardship, it's a good idea to start cancellation of removal, but only if you live in a state where you. If you live like in Texas or Arizona or Kentucky, you should move and file from a different place, or at least move closer to court. Give us a call if you want a consultation and walk through all the steps. Rosa wants to know, if somebody wants to file for VAWA, how many months does it take us, our firm, to get the case together? VAWA, it takes us about 3 months to get together. Why do you want to order out? We don't want to rush it. We want to write a good story. We don't want to rush it. We want to collect all your documents. We don't want to rush it. It's a lot of forms. We don't want to rush it. We want you to review everything. We don't want to rush it. You hear what I'm saying? It takes us about between 60 to 90 days to put a strong VAWA case together and send it out. But of course, if there's an emergency, there's a deadline, we can get it out in 2 days, but it's going to be like a skeleton. It's not going to be the full case that it deserves to be. Jesus Hernandez says, hi, good morning. Do you think the VAWA process is going to take a little faster this year? I'm writing you from Portland, Oregon. Thanks. I don't think so. I think it's going to be 3 years, 3.5 years this year, like the others. Lefine Haiti with Marie says, I'm glad to catch you live finally. How can I contact you? My phone number is on the bottom of my screen on YouTube if you're watching me. 718 722 call us. You can go on our website and schedule an appointment too. You have options. Call us or schedule through our website. And June says, hi, hello. Let's go to Instagram. Um, Question on Instagram from Joshua Johnson, 372. Asking for my nephew. I'm hereby seeking guidance for a 2 month payroll gap due to a previous employer's financial issues to a new employer requesting recent payslips. How should I approach this situation? You could tell your employer that you could file with the Department of Labor uh, and make a complaint, file a grievance. So you could say, if they pay you, then you will file a complaint with the Department of Labor. Lava help if you have a fake marriage. We don't work with fake marriage. If somebody says we have a fake marriage, we do not take you. Moreover, remember the lawyers, when you tell them you have a fake marriage or something else fake, we have a duty to report you to the government. So be very careful. The deal 7156 says, is it possible to do work on a visit visa? No, you need to file some other status, work permit first, then you cannot work here on a visitor visa. I am Deep Sunny says, ma'am, I have a 6-year experience of mechanical engineer. How can I immigrate to US? Which path is good? You could be eligible for EB2 national interest waiver. Let's schedule a consultation with 6 years experience. If you have a master's, right? We could try to get you, and you might have a really good chance to get the EB2 national interest waiver category visa, where you don't have to wait for the labor certification, but it still takes like 2 years. Okay. Back to YouTube comments with questions. I think that's all for now. We're here for 30 minutes. If you have questions, here's your chance before I disconnect. Oh, I'm Deep Sunny says I have a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering. Bachelor's is going to be harder for the national interest waiver, but let's talk. We'll see what kind of experience you have, what you've been doing these 6 years. Let's see. I'm going to give you guys another couple of minutes to ask a question. And then I'm going to disconnect and say see you next week. Joseph, if you have a question, write it now or hold your peace until next week. Joyce has a question. Please, can we call your office? She can start the process now for cancellation or removal because we were told it must be exactly 10 years before you can apply. Yes, for cancellation or removal, but we are applying for asylum first. So we can start now, prepare all the documents. It's going to be a while anyway. Asylum takes a while. The whole process might take 8 years. I don't even know how many, but sometimes it takes 7, 8 years for cancellation or removal. Okay. Joseph, I'm waiting for your question and I'm going to disconnect, giving you another minute. Meanwhile, we have a question from I'm Deep Sunny. He says, if this train will not work, can I move to America with a spouse permit? Yes, if you have a U.S. citizen spouse, you definitely can move here as a spouse of a U.S. citizen. Last question from Joseph. I have a friend who has not changed his address since a year. Will it be a problem for him? No, but he should change it right away because he might not get the letters that he needs to get in his cases. So the law is that if you have a pending case, if you have a case with USCIS and you move or with the court, you have 10 days to update your address with the agency. And if you're not following that, you're not getting your mail. Oh, he said because his wife and him had two addresses. You have to have the address that's in your case, and he should call for a consultation if he's got any questions other than that. If there's strategic reasons, then we should have a consultation and talk about it. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you next week.